Welcome to another installment of the Final Scoop podcast. My name is Robert Schinetsky. Joining me as always is my band of merry gentlemen and Robert Samborsky, Apollon Nutrition, Shane Babyface Smith of Stack 3D, TJ Who's Your Daddy Gonen, Fitness Deal News, and Lukasz Old Balls Rytkowski of Prometeus Intelligent Sports Technology. Welcome, my friends. How are we all doing? We are here again. And for all of you tuning in on the live feeds, thank you for joining us. Post up your comments and questions for discussion. If it doesn't look like they're getting populated in there, just keep entering them. Sometimes YouTube and Facebook get a little glitchy with the comments, so keep them rolling, and we will address all of them as soon as we get through a couple of our main event topics like we do every week here. So what is going on, gents?
Shen Babyface. I like it.
I'm kind of jealous. I think that TJ is taking a page out of John's book and
TJ, you are on a vacation or something?
No, this is my house. This is actually the back of my house.
He went one step further. Screw the couch.
Get a raise or something?
Let's just change the outdoors.
There we go.
Hey,
I probably should have sat outdoors today too, but I don't know if my battery would have lasted on my laptop. But it's
Robert is paying you too much. That's fucking insane.
Exactly. No, it's all the kickbacks he's getting from those supplement companies for those positive reviews.
Right,
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's exactly.
See,
that.
I have a yard, but even though like my wall had toilets and shit behind it, it looks much better than what it would like if I showed you my outside.
Right.
And Pete Pasmus is on joining us on the live feed. Pete, happy birthday! It's Pete's father's 75th birthday today, so happy birthday to your father.
Happy birthday, man.
How is that possible? Pete himself is like 72.
Maybe his father had him when he was 13. It was one of those early
What
early
is that,
starters.
like during his bar mitzvah or something like that? Like he found like some nice Jewish chick and like knocked her down.
Yeah.
Pete, what was going on
Yeah,
there?
I see we got a Jewish, the Jewish podcast.
Yeah. It's the Jew cast.
Helder Rodriguez, welcome. Listen, people, Miggy 002. Is that like 007 but 002? Are you part of the
Didn't have a budget for
MI6?
the 007, yeah.
All right, so our first question, actually, Shane, what is the concoction that you're drinking? Because you were drinking something on Monday, and we got a feisty Shane on Monday, so I'm curious to see what's
really?
brewing in that
Same
that
thing.
shaker.
Well, no, because like I said, the daylight saving. So previously, this was at 6 a.m. for me, and I don't eat until 7:30. Now it's 7:30. So my concoction, and I didn't realize this, but I've been having this for 12 years. It wasn't until someone said, it was on a comedy show. They said, I have oats and water and a glass of wine every morning for the last 20 years.
A glass of wine for breakfast?
Yeah. It
That's
was like,
the way
it
to
was,
start.
it was a comedy show, and it was like, you had to tell whether it was a lie. And I was like, it sounded believable because I was like, wait, I've been having my shit for fucking. So it is, I don't know how much oats in a cup or whatever, but it's like enough for 60 grams of carbs.
All the macros.
A handful of strawberries, scoop of protein, and a tablespoon of peanut butter. And blend it up.
Solid
Which
mixture.
protein you are using right now?
I'm mixing it up. Usually I try not to have any whey in it. So right now, usually it's like a vegan or an egg. Typically egg, but it's cause vegan. So it's enjoyable. But the strawberries really make anything taste good, so it doesn't really matter.
Is that just because you're trying to diversify your protein intake, or do you just not agree with whey?
No, I just like doing something different. Like makes it feel like a real food shake, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, I'll put a scoop of vegan, so it feels like I'm putting peas and brown rice. Not really, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like greens.
It's the halo effect. You think you're doing something good. Pete's old, but he can keep up with us. That's true. He can hang with the youngins in the crowd. So my first question for you all, and this is a suggestion or a topic idea that Pete had, and for all of the listeners out there, if you have a topic you'd like us to discuss or a question about the supplement industry you'd like us to discuss on the episodes, shoot any of us a message or an email or something, or leave a comment in the YouTube comments or on the Facebook feed. Let us know what you want us to hear or talk about, because sometimes we tend to think we get so mired down in the minutia of the industry, we tend to get, the blinders on. We forget some of the bigger picture or some of like the more generic questions because we assume that everybody may know that. So Pete's question for us and for the panel is why or how are supplements sometimes cheaper on distributor or retailer sites than from the actual company itself?
I thought that was pretty easy, isn't it?
So Robbie, do you want to take a crack at that since you're the
Sure.
brand owner?
Yeah, I mean, it's fairly easy. Every time you release a supplement, obviously on your website, the retailers, if you choose to sell to retailers and not just direct to consumer, they obviously check the prices on your website, and that's a very standard procedure. If your prices are cheaper, they will start complaining, bitching, et cetera, about it. And I mean, they definitely have a point, because the thing is that most stores sell, in a certain neighborhood to people that live in the area. So for them to go and pick up a supplement that's going to be, cheaper than ordering it online makes sense, because otherwise, it's actually customary today, thanks to, I guess, Amazon, that everything you get online is cheaper. It's delivered right to your door. Everybody is, likes the convenience. People don't want to get out today. They want to get everything super fast, super cheap, super convenient. So the consumer is a little bit spoiled. So for them to actually go to the store, it has to make sense. So the price has to be, if the price is about the same as the company sells online, then they can justify it, because they're going to look at it. Well, number one, I can pick it up right now. Number two, I don't have to wait for it about 2 or 3 days shipping. I don't have to pay extra shipping as well. So it's very, very convenient. That's the reason why companies do sell online, and they have all kind of loopholes, like, codes, obviously, if they have any athletes or ambassadors, or, special holidays where they give 20, 30, sometimes even higher percent margins, discounts, or they give freebies such as T-shirts and whatnot. And that's, I think, one of the reasons that I know for a fact that some of the stores, even because like I said, I'm a nerd, so I like to ask questions, especially about things that I'm not very aware of. I'm trying to learn something. I noticed a few stores locally that I'm friends with, maybe don't carry as much, for example, Radcon as they used to. And the main reason for it is because Radcon is very, very aggressive on social media and for marketing.
Direct to consumer, yeah.
Direct to consumer, where obviously they make more margins and the brand is pretty much well established. So they feel like, well, we don't really need the stores. Yet stores are buying from them regardless, because the brand is very, very popular. So you will always have somebody who's going to stop by and ask for a Radcon product. I know, for example, Evogen, if I'm not mistaken, actually just pulled out of, they had a dispute or something like that from DPS. So you have a lot of companies that are actually well known. They try to go direct, but companies that are either average or they policies to sell to brick and mortar and to retailers obviously have to maintain certain prices in order to be able to sell both direct and to the stores, but one's going to impact the other one. So it's very, very hard to find the balance. And I'm sure actually probably TJ can answer even better than I do, because he's familiar with both sides, from the brands to retailers, and to find that balance, and especially when you can find great offers from Fitness Deal News, it's very, very hard. And I guarantee you, even though I never talked to TJ about it, that he probably had some nasty phone calls, because I know I had. So it's probably like very, very common thing, right?
Yeah, I think it's based on, the reason is exactly like what you said. The brand site will always try to, or most of the times, will try to maintain a price that's a bit higher than usual. And in some cases, when there's brands that are going retail only, or they call themselves retail exclusives, they won't sell through other online stores, then the prices are even higher. So like on their site, like you'll see prices that are, like you'll find in retail stores way cheaper than you'll find on their sites. I'm talking brick and mortar, right? But I think to your point about deals, in today's world, I would say you almost have only two options. You either have a very, very strict MAP policy, manufacturer approved price, which most brands don't have, and enforce it. There's one brand, without even naming, that I can tell you that would literally, if you find their pre-workout for less than $50 on a site, after coupons, after anything, they'll shut you down. Just shut you down. By the way, a small brand. They'll take it out. That's it. You're dead. They'll never sell to you. And but most people don't enforce it, and it's still supplements used to enforce it very hard. By the way, if you would fuck up with their prices, they would literally shut you down. They'll totally, actually, until today, they'll shut you down. And but very much, I think you have three options. One, you just say, hey, it's a market. I have my wholesale price. People can do whatever they want to do. Number two is you enforce MAP really, really aggressively, which very rarely is getting done. Or the third option, which is what you see in the ones that I mentioned, you just say, hey, you know what? I don't sell anyone online. Once you sell anyone online, it's a massacre. The prices are gonna go down. It's super hard to you go on eBay and you'll find stuff, free shipping. There's pre-workouts that are super popular, and there's literally no reason to drop the price on them. But the minute you let them out, you'll find them $36 shipped on eBay. So someone made $10 instead of being able to make $30 margin, right? But you'll find them, and it's very hard to control. So that's what happens, and I think it's very hard. And to your point about getting emails and text messages and nasty Facebook messages, it happens all the time. Like I would post a deal, which it's like I make the deal, right? I just post it. But I'll post a deal and I'll get like, you're ruining the industry. You're killing brick and mortar shops. I said, fuck, man, what do you want me to do? Like, I think, Shane, you ran into that shit also.
I
right?
told you that one of your deals got me in shit because some
Right.
distributor hit me up and then hit up the brand and then called me an hour after I shared it, a day after you shared it.
Wasn't me.
And they were like, hey, man, could you potentially take this down? And I was like, what? Like, are you guys going to stop doing the deal? And it's like, well, no. And I'm like, what's the fucking problem though? And he's like, just the distributor saw it and was really disappointed. And I'm like, well, okay. And I was like, I left it up for the day. And I was like,
Right.
you owe me for this. Like, I actually think, I don't even know if we took it down. I think I changed the headline because
the headline
headline read the individual price when you had to buy like two or three or something.
Right.
And I think that's what pissed them off. And then it was like just that flat price. Like when Nutrix had their pre-workout for like $12 or something.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
$5. It was still like $12 or $13. It was insane.
Yeah.
It's very hard to control it. And I think once you do that, it's a super competitive market. The only way you can control this is with very high wholesale prices. But even then, some people at some point will say, hey, $1 I'm not making is $1 I'm not making. So I might as well make $1 and compete. And if it's an open market, that's it. Prices are going to go down. And you see that everywhere, right? It's very hard to control it. Definitely once the product gets popular. And that's it.
Yeah.
Lukasz, how do you handle things from your side when you're bringing products in? How do you work with brands and establish the prices that y'all are going to sell at or purchase from them on, and then your markup?
You know what? TJ mentioned this, and it's a great point, to talk about, because, if it goes online, then it's screw up, especially in this type of environment when you have such a competition, and everything. But many brands, just like many companies, I would say, don't care, because from my perspective, we need to do everything on a legal way. So basically, when we import products to Europe, everything needs to, be taxed. Everything needs to get the proper registration, regulations, and all the paperwork needs to be done. So you always need to pay, all the taxes and everything. It always takes time. But for some smaller companies, or the like retailers, or even the brick and mortar, type of shops, when they import stuff such as 10 to 20 units to their shop, it's not a problem for them.
Yeah.
They can also purchase even the illegal stuff such as DMAA, DMHA stuff. So you can even see on the internet, and just Google it up. In for example, in Poland we have this auction portal. in US or on it's more like it's very similar to Amazon or to the eBay, and it's called
eBay.
Allegro. So basically, you put everything what you need, and it shoots you the auctions where you can just pick the product straight away, or you can auction it for a good amount and bids.
Sounds like eBay. So sounds very much like eBay.
Yeah,
Okay.
very similar like
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
But you can buy all different shit, from
Right.
DMAA,
Yeah.
all the stuff, and the prices the prices sometimes are ridiculous. Even I don't buy the products in those kinds of prices. So this just shows you that
Because it's individual people, right? It's individual people.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, they purchase the smaller amounts. They don't pay any taxes, no import fees, which allows them to drop the prices. So at the end, the brand that sells the products is getting hurt, because then their products are like the price is getting lower and lower. I will give you a simple example for Animal Pack. Back in the day, it was like it was a top-notch product, and it was the price was stabilized on a good level. And nowadays, it's shit.
Is it? Really?
It dropped so much, seriously. But it's still one of the top sellers in Europe, and it's one of top-rated multivitamins in Europe. But the price is so screwed up.
What does it go for now?
Just like for example the Optimum Gold Whey. It's also the price is so screwed up that your margin, our margin, the most known distributor in Europe, it's, to be honest, non-existent. So
Really?
it just shows you, that the smaller companies are hurting the industry, in my opinion. Especially if they are like try to screw up the industry by going on the back end.
I think where you can make money, right? Like you make volume with the big brands just because they push volume. You make money. You make money with the unique products or with the products that can maintain price. It's very hard to make. By the way, it's true for almost every industry, right? On the mainstream products, it's really hard to make good margins, and it's on the unique ones is where you can actually maintain some margin. How much is Animal Pack in like retail in Europe? What does it go for?
I don't remember the price now, but I can check it.
I can tell you how much I paid for it when I was in the Czech Republic. I remember I went and bought it from a store, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Was it
expensive?
Oh, really? I think in the US,
one.
what does it go for? Let me go into our
price. It's like $29. 29, like 30, 32. I think 32 on their site, 29 on.
Yeah, it's around 30 euros right now.
Yeah, so when I went to Prague, I paid.
Helder is saying it's $26 wholesale. That seems really expensive for a wholesale price for Animal Pack. You'd be selling that at 50 something bucks in the shop.
Yeah, it sounds a lot.
Let me check how much is it in dollars.
But see, that's the kind of thing. That's kind of when you get guys like Prometeus who come in and buy like
$35.
Yeah, like guys in Prometeus who would buy like, I don't know, millions of dollars worth, and then ship it in a container, which would probably be a shitload cheaper than what these little guys are doing it for. Yeah. And the idea I've always thought was that it balances it out. You buy a shitload, you have to pay taxes, but you should try and almost come out good on the other end. But I would say, to your point about the whole site thing coming down, is it was like 6 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, everyone was insanely expensive on their site. I don't know if you remember, but like BSN used to have its protein at like $90. It was crazy. No one, and Muscle Tech didn't even have an online store. Nobody had high prices. And then it was, I almost feel like Redcon 1 was kind of like the Jim Stoppani of direct to consumer. Like Redcon 1 came in and everyone was flirting with good prices, but then Redcon was like, fuck yeah, $30 pre-workout, buy one, get one free. And then slowly everyone's prices came down, and now Optimum, Muscle Tech, you all have prices that match a retailer, and no one cares. And you have and you have launches, brand new supplements that are now available that are like launched at deals where previously they were launched at retailers. So it's
Momentum call.
I think it's it's just a change in times because
By
it
the
used to be
way,
expensive.
Animal Pack is like, you can find it. I was just checking the price comparison on our site, $24, as low as $24. So
you
Yeah,
can
I've
see
seen that at like buy one half price. So
no, this is like literally $24. I mean, a
Yeah.
site with a coupon or something like that, $24.
DPS would have a good deal. I imagine.
DPS is 26, 2-day subs is 24. I mean, I just checked the price comparison. You can get it for $24. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. Once you go online, that's it. I mean, everybody has its own different imperatives at any given point. Someone's trying to drive
It'd be
volume.
difficult for a brand to control international as well. Like if you have a store who's actually selling it for 24 and international guy who wants to buy a small amount is being offered 26, let's just say, then he may as well just go for the $24. And he can buy it from a store.
I'm telling you, Robert knows that, because there were opportunities where we had deals that we hunted down that you could buy shit from a site cheaper than retail. Wholesale, sorry. Cheaper than buying it from the distributor. It's just because it happens a lot. It actually happens quite a lot.
Yeah, I saw this many times as well, And I also, to Shane's point, I will also say, that, some brands that we work with are very, very good, because, for example, they pick only one distributor or maybe two distributors, and they work with only them, And there is okay, let's make a deal for this month, or let's prepare something special for your clients, customers, which allows us and them to control the pricing and keep the margins on the consistent level. Because if they, for example, work with they can sell to everyone, then the price is screwed up consistently. But when you have this this good relationship, which we talked about many times, about that the communication between the distributor and the company, then it's a good stuff,
It's just very hard to do when you're very big, right?
Yeah, and I think also is that number one, again, TJ is right. Like once you go online, it's very, very, very hard to control. I mean, close to impossible to control these things. There are certain steps that companies can do. I know what we are doing, and it's still not safe proof that we can control this. Like for example, if we sell to somebody, say in a certain area, we will not sell. If the relationship is established and everything, we will not sell to his competitor who is like across the street or like 5 miles away or something like that. And it does help. It does help without a doubt. Selling to everybody who sells online is also can create like, oh, look, they just put a nice PO. Yeah, they did, but now they're competing among themselves, and now you see prices definitely, the product is suffering. So I can understand that too. I've seen one company that a friend of mine used to carry, and we are very, very good friend. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago, and he called me and he goes like, motherfuckers, I just saw that they, that bodybuilding.com sells it cheaper than the company sells to me. And the guy had like 2 or 3 stores. And he was pissed. Like I said, we are very, very good friends. So one of my closest friends. And he called the company, and immediately, there was a huge fight. The company obviously said they didn't know that bodybuilding.com would do that. I mean, there was like a whole issue. But the point is that it does happen. It's very, very hard to control. Another thing is that maybe when we just started, for example, we would sell because we used to sell only online. TJ is immigrating from one place to another one.
My wife is throwing me away. I'm like just going from places to places.
So for example, we were selling our pre-workout Hooligan, I think between like $45 to $49, something like that. That was a retail price. And I know that NutraBio Pre was about the same price, also $44, $49. That was the retail price. across the board and everywhere. I mean, it's a solid formula. Anyway, I went to Vitamin Shop. That was maybe about 2 years ago or something like that, and I had to pick up fish oil for my coach. So I walk in and I saw NutriBio just they started selling at Vitamin Shop or something like that. They were there only for like a year, maybe less than a year. And I saw they pre-workout on the shelf. So I was just curious like to see what the price is. The price was $31. It was $31 plus if you use a coupon or some shit like that, you can get it about $2 cheaper. And I remember I called Mark Leisure and I said, I just saw your pre-workout at Vitamin Shop. I mean, if I saw my pre-workout for that price, I would freak the fuck out. I said, like, is that okay? And he goes to me, no, I think it's a mistake. I think that particular store made a mistake, something like that. I basically said, like, listen, I don't give a shit. I saw the price because for that price back then, that would be the price of C4 or something. There is, of course, a difference between C4 and, NutriBio Spray. We're just saying, like, once you see that price, and it wasn't a holiday or anything like that, it was just a regular, I don't know, Wednesday or some shit like that. Once you see that price that low, it's very hard to go back to 44, 49, or even close to impossible to go to those prices. But then again, certain companies just care about selling to as many as possible without thinking of consequences, and to control map pricing and stuff like that, it's also very, very hard. And I think these days it's almost close to impossible, especially when the brand is very popular. I think it's hard.
Unless you're willing to be very violent, it's impossible. There's brands who definitely do that, right? I mean, Core, very strong on map pricing. Like I mentioned, there's a couple of others. There's a couple of brands that are bigger. I mean, Core is a bit even bigger, I would say. But it's very hard on large scale. And once you go online, I think international is also like, Lukasz, I don't know how you guys even compete with the iHerbs and VitaCost of the world. Like I can buy anything on iHerb with free shipping to any freaking place in Europe, and it's US prices, like retail, and then coupons and shit like that. I mean, it's and it gets to your house.
Yeah, that's the thing. You need to like establish this core relationship with your client, and sometimes even if you have a bigger price on one brand, and for example on other brands you have a better price, at the end he will go with you. Plus if he trusts you with your service and those kinds of things, which is another aspect of business relationship, then he also like chooses you.
Yeah. Well, I was talking less about retail stores buying, let's say, from distributors, more direct, like the consumer. Just any consumer can now go iHerb.com and buy.
When I was international, I didn't buy online from the US, even though it works out cheaper. I did one when I was in the UK. I bought a stack. It was on sale, and they took the protein powder out because it wasn't registered imported. So that burned to shit. So they gave me a letter. They said, it needed to be this, and this.
Oh, really?
So I couldn't get any protein powder. I think I had 5 pounds in there. Maybe there was like a size restriction.
There's a size restriction. Yeah.
And I know New Zealand has the same. If you come through customs and you're bringing it in hand, you're allowed 2 pounds open, 4 pounds, 5 pounds closed.
Right. Yeah.
But that's like, so that's this thing though. Like you would order this, and if you were buying from overseas, you're extremely restricted. Whereas like the only thing that I think,
though, not a problem,
pre-workouts are better. But then you also have the same problem like in New Zealand, is that if I bring in something with Yohimbe, it'll get burned. They'll take it out.
Will they actually stop it though? Like
they'll take it out.
Okay, so in most places they want like a small box with a pre-workout with whatever.
I don't think most places would take it out, but I would think some would. And I would think that when you're spending a few $100s a month, I wouldn't risk it internationally if I didn't know the rules.
I'm not gonna say who or what, but I'm just gonna say one thing. My friend bought also a stack recently, and it was like a massive box. It was like 30 products different kinds, from SARMs to pH, DMAA, those kind of things, passed through customs like a normal stuff. Nothing was burned, nothing was diseased, nothing was. He had any issues. He just paid the import fees, and that's about it. So yeah, man. If it's for personal use, it's gonna pass. But if you're like me, like a bigger distributor, then
No, not
when
distributor. I'm talking.
you're like placing order for a container or something.
Yeah. No, not container. I'm talking individuals. Yeah, individuals. I mean, there's VitaCost and iHerb, right? Two sites, American companies that are very big. Actually, 99% of their sales is international because they figured out they just ship from all over. I don't know where they stock their stuff. And I went online just to see how much would it cost me to ship, let's say, to Israel, C4 Ultimate pre-workout. Man, $29.99 shipped.
Yeah.
I just don't see how you compete with that, right? I just don't understand how you compete with that.
Yeah,
unless the
for
consumer
example,
is not aware of it. But if the consumer
but if
is
you are,
aware,
like you said, if you are like in Israel, do you have any like bigger shops, bigger retailers that?
yeah, they are. But why would I pay twice?
That's the other thing. I've shopped when I was in Europe. I shopped local, mostly because when I order iHerb, I have had them take up to 2 weeks, and so for me, if I'm away and I don't have time, and you can't like
time. It does take time.
Yeah. So like, and the thing is, if you order from a store, they could be like, "Oh, order it now; it'll be there by Monday at the fastest." But if you order it from those big stores, because it's like you'll be like, "I order it now; it might not arrive by the time I leave," so you're kind of in the shit. I've honestly, every time I travel, I buy local, even though
that's a different situation because you stay for a limited time.
But yeah, I think if you know your market, if you know your area, and if you actually want to like, because I mean the prices when I'm over there, like for protein powder and intra-workout and all the big stuff, even some of the big pre's, it works out cheaper to buy local. Hell yeah. It's in some of the European places, it's like they're getting much better. Even in Australia and New Zealand, you're paying maybe $5 US difference, $10 US difference to get it here than you would over there.
Yeah.
And or how I get it there and have it shipped. So I mean, it's the distributors. Obviously, the larger they get, the better they are, and then the more they import, the cheaper it gets. But I think it's I would never risk it personally. But I imagine if you lived in the country, you knew the rules. But to answer, I think Robert's original question, I think, like Robert said, they charge more on their site because so that the retailers don't get mad, as far as I know. But that's changing significantly with brands launching things at like 30% off, and is a shift from the last few years where now it's just normal to buy the latest product from the brand, which wasn't the case, far from the case 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, now they start doing pre-orders or things
really,
of that
really good
nature,
deals.
which this brings up a
to
good
To be honest, I like this idea of doing the pre-orders, especially for like a really cool products. You mentioned recently about the Devastate, the newest one, which was like, to me, also incredible stuff, and I also jump on a deal once they announce it. So yeah, the package is on the way to me, but yeah, guys, it's like, doing those kinds of things is massive. For example,
I
today
like the aggressive sales tactics, by the way.
Yeah, I was also scrolling today through Facebook and saw the on the Redcon one, the deals. That's also insane. Like, buy one get one free. And
does that? Do y'all think that gives you insight into the company's quality of their products? If they're able to give you 2 pre-workouts, a free gym bag, a free T-shirt, a free pair of sandals, and a bunch of other free stuff for like $30. I mean, does that send off a little like warning bell in the back of your head that maybe the quality of the ingredients in the product aren't that good?
I don't think to an average Joe. I don't think, like, a lot of people are still not knowledgeable and they're just looking for a deal. I mean, somebody like us or somebody who is like looking into labels and certain products, then yeah, absolutely. But I think to most average people, I mean, they see a deal and they jump on it and that's it. They think that they're actually, winning, not realizing that some of the cheap shit that they're getting for free is actually more expensive than the product that they're paying for.
I think that TJ's point, not labels, but deals are just deals. Like, I mean, to be honest, if I see a deal for like buy one, get one free and it doesn't make sense, I'm like, but I like that product.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. If
I think
tried it and I like
also-
it, I'll get it.
I think you need to look at the dynamics of how things work. When you go direct to consumer, it's just different math altogether. And what Redcon One did, they started very much. I mean, they invested tons of money in building their D2C. I mean, they're way more D2C than anything else. And their mobile app, and there are a lot of promotions, and it's just very much direct to consumer. And think about it, your margin is I mean, whatever, the pre-workout is X, the retail is 4X, you're okay with 50% because you're still making 50%.
Yeah.
It's just like you would do wholesale. So the math is very different D2C. I think where the challenge is for brands is when you have brands, and there's some very good brands out there, that they are on constant BOGO free, 50% off, even though they're not D2C. That's where you probably have margin issues.
Do about
And
Nutrix.
There's Nutrix is one example, right? But there's a few. I would say there's a few.
Is like daily net lately.
Yeah, it's all the time. I mean, there's a few of these that you get addicted to it, and it's almost impossible to go, because that's also your position inside your retailer. It's very hard to go out. But I think once you have D2C, the math is just different, and you can afford to do that. And there's brands that, I mean, it's really there's no one sales strategy that works. I think Redcon One went on. I mean, they're just huge right now, right? I'm sure they crossed the 100 mil revenue probably a while ago.
For sure.
Yeah,
sure.
so in 3 years, right? So they're huge.
Yeah.
So I think
but
that they're just going on volume, right?
Yeah, but you guys see this, you have two types of like brands that do deals all the time, and the brands that are like, we don't do any deals. For example, like Morphogen Nutrition, they don't do any deals. They have one set price on their products. They keep their prices and they go only to the customer, So that's also a completely different policy,
Of course, similar. They never used to do deals, and now that they do more deals, but they're still like just 10% off.
Yeah.
It doesn't drop too much.
Yeah, but Core is also using this kind of deals for special occasions, I would say. If you have like July 4th or those kind of things, the special days for America when they are celebrating something, or rebranding, they do deals. Okay, I can understand that. But
but Core on the other end, they're very retail brick and mortar focused also. If they would go big time online, and it also affects your volume. Listen, it's very hard to go. If you recall, not as long as 3 years ago, it was very. I remember when we started FDN, when Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard went below $50, it was a deal. I'm just telling you, 3 years ago. Now, dude, $40, nobody gives a shit on the 5-pounder. And it was like once you go mass market, once you try to push volume, then so I think Morphe, there's no comparison between something like a lifestyle business like Morphogen or, whatever you want to choose, like, two people doing good, but for themselves, and a Redcon One. It's a world domination versus I built this cute little business here. So it's not Redcon One and Aaron Zingerman. They're going after world domination. This is not. It's not a good comparison.
Yeah.
Valid
I agree
point.
with that.
All right, let's move on to, let's tackle some of these comments before they build up. And for all the listeners out there tuning in, get your comments and questions in. We'll stay on as long as you guys have questions and smart aleck remarks for us, like this one from Devin. It says, Apparently, we have our Halloween costumes on today, guys. We're looking exceptionally scary.
Well, thank you.
Well, no. He didn't say we look scary. He just said that we've dressed up.
It's implied. It's implied that we've got our
So
costumes.
it could technically mean we look better than we did other days.
That's possible.
Oh.
That's possible. There's
There
Shane
you
with the
go.
positivity as always. I need to move to New Zealand. That way I will always be in a good mood and always look on the bright side of things.
Yeah, look at Shane.
Or one of the stories on the Stack 3D site today, Shane, was lightly dosed.
I couldn't stop laughing.
I put that out there for you.
I saw this
You
as
know,
well.
I saw it. I actually screenshot the formula because that was ouch. But
Well, then
then
the thing is called
that's-
advanced. It's an
yeah,
advanced.
advanced, yeah.
Advanced.
But then I saw what
Like-
Shane posted. I was like, oh shit, he ruined it for me. That was my excitement. Lightly dosed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cute. Seriously, is that
I had to format that label to put it in there because I knew that you would read it and see lightly, and I'm like, did I put it in the title? I probably did.
Yeah, you did.
I think the
Yeah.
fact that it's advanced, that's a killer.
I mean, what was it like? Half a gram of citrulline malate?
Yeah.
I was like, oh god.
50 milligrams of dynamine, 300 of caffeine.
Which
um,
one is
it?
And then
2.5 grams of beta-alanine.
yeah, it was beta alanine and caffeine. I guess that's what makes it advanced.
That
It's
was the
300
best part.
caffeine and 2.5 of beta alanine.
Which
I
one
mean,
is it?
But to their credit, estrogen was at 50 milligrams. I thought that was pretty.
Yeah.
To be based on everything else that was in there.
well,
I
at
didn't
least
expect that.
down there, those shit's gonna be digesting very well.
Will
What
hit
is
you
it?
harder.
Which product is it?
Advanced, something
It's
advanced.
called advanced
Effective
pre-workout.
Effective Nutrition, Effective Pre. It's a UK brand.
Okay, sounds
It's the latest
effective.
stories.
I still,
extremely effectively
I
dosed.
still like the one that Robert caught the what was it, Glycer pump, I think, and Eurofactor. That they were not part of the formula, but they were highlighted actually on a container. That was the funniest thing I have ever seen. Like how can how can you sink so low? Like you actually highlight the ingredient that your product does not contain.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If you let a label error that glaring slip through your QA QC department, there's no way I'm trying your shit. There's no way.
You know what? But it actually, the reason how I actually stumbled upon that was funny because John Cook from South Africa, he posted about overtime and he gave it props and he put like a whole nice write up about how great the product is and the ingredients and whatnot. And that guy made a comment. He says because he said it's like a nootropic of the year. So John really liked overtime, and the guy made a comment. He says, "Wait a second." He says, "You didn't try ours yet," meaning like you're gonna be blown away. I'm like, "Huh, that's interesting." So I looked it up, and that's when it came up. I'm like, "Holy fuck!" He put Eurofactor that the product doesn't even have, and then the dosages were like all over the place. It's just like. My question is, do they do it on purpose to try and trick the consumer and lie to him because it's a transparent formula, or are they actually that stupid?
I don't think that that's stupid.
No.
I mean, to be fair, both answers in that situation, the person's stupid. But
That's a solid point.
I think that putting it on the label and not putting it on the formula, that's not, it can't be accidental. Like those aren't,
absolutely
they're
not.
not cheap ingredients to add in. Like they're branded ingredients, right? Like I mean, you had to have purposely put it on the label, and you had to have purposely not included it, or you had it included it, took it out at some point, and then forgot to remove it on. Maybe you forgot that. I suppose that could work out. Either way, no, it doesn't. No.
No. Chris. Chaos is the first supplement he ever had to cut the dose. I can't count that early in the morning. So he takes the full dose sometimes. It is hard to count in the morning. It is. It's speaking of half dosing, I got a nice little care package the other week from Chaos and Pain. And I texted TJ this morning. I said, all right, man, you've run all this stuff. I said, give me your expert opinion. I said, let me try this. So I ran a Chaos and Pain's Cannibal Ferox pre-workout this morning. It's got 450 caffeine, 2 forms of yohimbine in there, and it's got 50 milligrams of theophylline for its stems. So I said, TJ, do you recommend that I do a half scoop on this? And he said, yes. I did a half scoop on it. I took it at 9:30ish. I mean, I don't think I ever need to go above a half scoop on that thing. I mean, man, I was flying. It's like it was one of those workouts where you get to the end of it and you still want to keep going. Like you are like that zoned in mentally, and you feel phenomenal on it. So this is my first experience with Theophylline in a pre-workout.
If you go full scoop on that thing,
yeah,
you won't feel good. You'll feel terrible. No, I'm telling you, it's. At least for me personally, a full scoop of Ferox was I didn't have a good experience.
Yeah, Sandy said she felt a little. She did a half scoop with me, and she said she felt a little kind of out of it. So maybe we'll try her at a fourth of a scoop next time. But man, half a scoop, my first go around with Theophylline. I like that. It's not a dietary supplement in any way, shape, or form, but feels great.
It's a hit and miss with that ingredient. I can go, like Chemix had it in the pre-workout and it made me throw up like a motherfucker. Like I think it's a hit and miss ingredient. It's not that easy. The guys from ASC Supplements at one of their first, like when they were playing with the formulas of one of their new pre-workouts, so Hefe, one of the limited edition, they actually added there. I felt like shit on the sample. I told him, hey man, this sucks. And like Ferox, if you go full scoop, I'm telling you like for me personally, it didn't feel well. It's a hit and miss ingredient.
I also agree with that because when first Chemix came up with it, I looked it up because it's actually.
It's medicine.
It's medicine.
Yeah,
it's illegal. It's a drug. It's a prescription medication. I remember I had to ask Marina. I was like, Marina, I said, what is this? She goes to me, this is illegal. This is prescription medication. This should not be in a dietary supplement at all. So she said, basically, that's even worse, technically, from a law perspective than DMAA, because this is actually controlled. This is prescription. So I looked through a few of the manufacturers because I was just interested, like, to see how it feels. And you said 50 milligram, right?
Yeah, in the full scoop. So I only took out 25 of it.
So I actually found finally somebody who could ship it to me, and I actually got it. And I added it to, I don't remember, I think it was Hooligan, the previous formula. It was last year. I think I added to Hooligan, and Hooligan, to Assassin, I would never dare to do that. But with Hooligan, I felt very comfortable adding it to it. So I added, it was 50 milligrams, so I added 25 milligram. On 25 milligram, I used it 3 or 4 times. And every time I felt slightly different. Maybe depends on what I eat or how I feel or how I slept. I don't know. Like once I had a tremendous headache, like serious headache from it. Then another time I actually felt very good. I had an incredible workout. I think it kind of enhanced the Hooligan, so it made it maybe a little bit better on that occasion. But once I actually made it to the full serving of 50 milligram, I used that. I made myself to use it 3 times or 4 times or something like that. The first time, I guess my body was like kind of in a shock. I threw up and I felt like shit the entire day. I mean, forget about the fact that I had Hooligan, which, usually it lasts fucking hours. I didn't feel like hours. I felt like I crashed badly because I threw up so bad. And I was sweating profusely. All I could all I could do was just sit on a couch and literally like barely move. I felt like shit. So on 50 milligram, I thought that it was like definitely not good. So I looked it up, and then when I read all the side effects and stuff like that, it comes with quite a long list of side effects. So I think like maybe if you use a small amount, maybe it can enhance, maybe 10, 15 milligram or something like that. 25 would be max. But like I said, on 25, it was hit and miss. I felt good and I felt so.
Yeah, I texted my sister because she's a pharmacist, and I know you know that, Robbie. And I texted her because she's not a huge fan of the supplement industry in general, just because, given her background with pharmaceuticals and all of that. I texted her, I said, hey, look, check out this label. And she said, oh my God, what are you taking? And I said, yeah, Theophylline. I'm curious to try it. It's got a super long half-life and, all that. She said, it's a really old-ass anti-asthma drug. She said, she says we monitor people's peaks and valleys on it very carefully with that because she said it doesn't react very well with some people.
Do you have any idea how they actually bring it in? Like, how do they bring it into because is it a version that's not controlled?
I don't know. It's the anhydrous form.
Well, you see, the thing is that it's the same thing. It kind of falls into the same category as, say, for example, Viagra, right? So it's a prescription medication. As soon as it's prescription, it's already very tight with the supplement with the supplement industry and manufacturing. So say, for example, if you have a proper manufacturer, like say, I don't know, Milk Specialties or Command Nutritional, some of those like legit GMP, FDA, the ones that are actually getting regulated and go by the book, they will not even allow you to mention that word because that's a big no. Like I know for a fact that one of our manufacturers, Command, we manufacture protein with them and a couple of other things, and we talk to them, and they won't even touch such things as Nupep. They won't touch such things as Hordenin, and those are kind of like gray line. Yeah, they borderline. So 50% of manufacturers will do it, 50% of manufacturers won't do it. But I had to go to some length to find actually Theophylline, and I found it from somebody who makes SARMs and stuff like that. So obviously, it's a little bit, but the side effects and what I experienced were exactly like the ones that you would find on Wikipedia and whatnot. And just like Robert said with his sister, as soon as I showed it to Marina, the first reaction was, she says, well, that's stupid. So the thing is that I think that actually Chaos and Pain, like the company itself, the products that they make, especially their sleep formula, like you said, TJ, it's fucking amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. After I had some trouble with like sleep and stuff like that, I got in touch with TJ because he just reviewed, I think, that one, and he reviewed High Tech, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So I was like, I picked up the phone and I said, like, TJ, you know what? Like sometimes I have issues with sleep and stuff like that. So he goes to me, well, High Tech, for obvious reasons. He goes to me, try not to use it too often, like use it on and off sometimes. And he said Chaos and Pain. So I looked at Chaos and Pain, and the profile is pretty solid. I mean, it's a good label, no doubt about it. And I've used it a couple of times, and all I can say is it's a solid product.
Labels are just labels.
So I'm not gonna like say anything negative about the company because it's a solid company. They probably
it's a solid company. Yeah.
But Theophylline, yeah, that kind of throws me off because, like I said, that's a hit and miss ingredient, and there's something about it. But the sleep formula is absolutely amazing.
I think what I think with this ingredient and a couple of others, this is one of these places where when I review something, a lot of the times I can tell that I'm gonna hit like how people will feel. 99% of people will feel what I feel. With Theophylline and a couple of other ingredients, it is like I do a review, I feel bad. Like it's like a 50-50. Yeah. Some might fly on it, like Robert felt very good on half a
Still feel great. I'm still rocking, man.
Awesome. There you go. And some will throw up and feel like shit, or some will feel nothing. There's a couple of ingredients. This is one of them where I'm very uncomfortable actually stating an opinion, because I know people like would go and say, oh shit, this feels like good. Like Chemix was like, Chemix on 3/4 of a scoop, I felt okay. 50% of humanity wanted to die from that shit, right?
Yeah.
And so I actually added on the review, I said, listen, don't buy this. It's a total
it's like a disclaimer.
Ignore my review because I don't know what you're going to feel.
So you know what? And that ingredient is a prescription medication that, like I said, to get access to it is not easy, and it is illegal, basically. But for, like you said, from personal experience with some of those exotic stems and stuff like that, because that's not even exotic stem, that's just drug. But when we released the first Assassin, I honestly didn't like it, even though everybody was raving about it, and I didn't know why I don't like it. I gave it to try to people. Everybody loved it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it made me feel. And then I tried a few other products with DMAA in it, and I realized that for me, DMAA, like, I don't feel great on it. Like, I typically crash. I actually crash from DMAA. That's one ingredient that I will feel amazing for about a certain period of time, which is not too long. I would say under an hour. And then after that, I'm like dead tired. Same thing as, I don't know, you would feel on some prescription drug or some shit like that. I don't feel good on it, on that stimulant. But when DMAA got banned and we switched to DMHA one, it would replace DMAA with DMHA. With that one, I felt phenomenal. I felt great. So I think it's also a personal experience as well.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a bad experience with a pre.
Ever?
I mean, I've had a crash. The only crash I ever got, I might have had a mild one, but the worst one I got was the original Hemo Rage.
Shane, did you try full scoop of Chemix?
Yeah,
I
speaking of
tried.
which,
Chemix, did you try full scoop?
Yeah, they sent me sample packs, so I had to do like
You felt,
one
felt
and like
nothing on full scoop,
I passed
No, it's
through
just
the
like-
entire top of Chemix.
and you liked
felt
it.
like just.
Yeah, I
I
loved
mean,
it.
So listen, that's just like the comment here. So many people got like feeling like throwing up.
Yeah, I saw
like,
the
a
comments.
huge amount.
That's
Yeah.
why I bought the top.
I didn't try.
Yeah. That's why I
Tried the
got
original.
the top.
Lucas sees people throw it up and
Savage.
feeling like death, and he says,
Savage.
"I'm gonna try that."
Honestly, it was my intention. Once I saw the comments on the Chemix reviews, I was like, damn, I need to jump on this stuff. So I bought 2 tops.
I also wonder if it was the high dose of Kana that was in there too, because there was a high dose of Kana in there, and plus they had Theophylline, caffeine, and all the other stuff too. So
I love Kana because it keeps me in the nice, good mood. Smooth, nice, clean, like, this vibe. I love this. I love it.
yeah, like
Right.
Zembrin, I've always reacted really well. That's why I liked the original C4 Ultimate, like the very first iteration of it, the one that had alpha yohimbine and Kana, and
It was a good product.
yeah, it was really good. Now it's shit, or not shit, just not really as good. They've neutered it from whatever. So Pete found Chemix to be average for him. I never tried it, so I have no dog in the race.
Like it was like insane. I thought it was. I mean, it delivered as good as an average pre-workout can, but I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I think this is exactly what I'm saying. Like with Chemix is one of these pre-workouts that you like as a reviewer, I can tell you just can't hit it right.
Yeah.
You with most reviews that I do, people say, "Hey man, I felt exactly what you said." This shit was all over the freaking place. Like some people love it, no problems, yes problems. People throwing up, like it was crazy.
yeah.
That was crazy. The original.
Oh,
I didn't feel anything.
Yeah,
remember
Lucas
that.
has got this huge erection right now. Look at him. Like give him
damn.
2 seconds to relax.
I remember
Do
Say
you
it again.
even,
Say it again.
do you even
Praise
try
the original.
the original craze?
Yeah, people like were raving about it, so I got my hands on it, and I was like, I don't really feel much of anything.
Really?
I even got a
Wow.
second tub because people were still being like, dude, it's the best shit ever. And I was like, am I missing the boat here or something? I mean, and then I had Jack at the time going back and forth, and I was like, I'm definitely not feeling anything. And it's
You guys
not
seen
me.
I think you have a missed batch or something because
Dude,
the
I
batch
bought from
that I
bodybuilding
had-
the column.
the batch that I had
maybe
was
it's just
exploded.
genetically immune to drugs. There's to amphetamines. What did it have? Like
Yeah.
it had some amphetamines, right?
I mean, there was
Did you
that
go-
claim, yeah.
Did you guys? No, it felt different. Did you guys see ever? You know the Hodgkins, right?
Yeah.
Did you see their review of Craze? Oh my gosh, this is like I'm talking like what is it like 6-7 years ago? They were young.
Yeah,
I'll
7
send you
years
the
ago.
link. If you can, I'll send you the link later on the group. Like this is it's like you're gonna pee in your pants. It is so funny when they first time after they try Craze, the original. I'm talking, of course. It's so fun. I'll send you the link.
Yeah.
But anyway,
The only pre-workout I've ever had like a super negative reaction to was an old version of Edge of Insanity from Psycho Pharma.
oh shit.
Yeah,
That one, I have like I think 60,000 views on that review. I called the review "Edge of a Heart Attack."
yeah, I felt absolutely awful. Even at a half scoop, man, I couldn't
Man.
catch my breath. I just sat on the bench,
Terrible.
like huffing and puffing.
Terrible! It's such a shit experience.
Yeah,
Nobody felt
like-
good on that thing.
No.
What's that?
Well, that was one of the reviews where I did a review on it, and then it was not received well by the brand, obviously, and then
I remember you did it
got
with CJ. I remember.
yeah, I got a lot of not so nasty, not so friendly messages and emails from the brand owner after that, saying him and his wife took it all the time and they were fine, they never had an issue, and I've still got a tub of it sitting in the closet back there, but there's no way.
That's the benefit on my side. I bought it, I paid for it, I reviewed it, I said it's shit. They don't even have my email.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the advantage.
I think Lucas wants you to send the rest of his tub, send the rest of your tub to him.
Yeah.
I could do that. That can be arranged. I will
Look at
gladly
his
send it.
face.
I wanted to say, if you don't mind, just keep it
No, I'll
going.
say it. I mean, it's probably
Lukasz, really
legally it's
simple.
expired. It's reached its
It's
expiration
expired,
date,
yeah.
but
TJ
Ah,
put
I
it
know,
in hard
I know.
attack
Listen,
and that
Lukasz,
was-
it's really simple. They had there, and because I talked to them afterwards, because the next versions were okay, they
Yeah.
had there more than 5 milligrams of alpha yo.
yeah,
So
they
if
did.
you want to feel how this shit feels like, just take 6 milligrams of alpha yo, something like that, and thank you very much. Call me a week after. That shit is like terrible. It's
awful.
just
It was
stupid,
awful
by the way.
feeling.
Why the hell would you do that shit? It's stupid.
Yeah.
That's
Zero
something
benefit.
for me.
Look at that smirk on Luka's face.
Yeah.
It's like seriously
You
getting
said-
an erection. Like
You-
I'm
you
already
said,
excited.
I think when TJ said heart attack, Lucas's eyes lit up.
yeah, Lukasz was like started.
DMAA always took me to a happy place. The first couple of times I ever used the original Mesomorph, man, I felt like I could run through a wall. I felt great.
I never
Yeah,
had
the original,
tiny stems.
the original DMA stuff. That shit was
Good
the best.
stuff. DMAA gives the feeling and depression post Molly from the party days. I don't know if I ever. I can't relate to post Molly days, but I never had a crash on it.
Stomach.
Glad they're looking into DMHA since we're looking for performance. DMHA is like a, it's okay, it's good. It gave me the euphoria, but not necessarily like the tunnel vision kind of focus that I got off DMAA.
It's nothing compares to the stem of DMAA.
Yeah,
I had some shit, but nothing by itself, like Jack did, which was literally just that,
yeah.
and a few other things. Nothing has come within the realm of that, I would think.
Now, how much DMAA did Jack have?
Who cares?
Nobody knows.
No. The reason is because somebody told me that
It was
they
a
had
proprietary blend.
how much?
It was a
It's
proprietary
a pop
blend.
blend.
Yeah, but somebody told me that it was around 30 or 40 milligram, which is
2
technically,
grams.
which is not a lot. But what makes me wonder is because I remember even Mesomorph, I think, had only like 30 milligram or something like that.
60.
60.
60.
So and the Mesomorph, you actually felt it. And I remember Assassin had 80 back when it was still legal. So on 60, 80, 30, 40, everybody felt amazing, which makes me question. Some of the things that TJ reviews or Review Brothers review, sometimes they claim to be 100 or 120 milligram of DMAA. I think it's not true. I think that doesn't
DMAA
contain
now-
anything or way underdosed.
The DMAA now, I believe, is
Fake.
extremely different to what I've had some of those things, and I don't feel anything anywhere near.
Exactly. Those numbers mean nothing.
But also that Jack one, you said
I'm telling you.
was,
Maybe
was Jack
DMAA, but in not the same form as it was like back in the days,
was Jack the 30 milligrams per scoop? Because if you remember, they did the 45 per tub, 15 good times per tub.
Yeah.
And so technically that would have been 90 if it was 30 per serving.
There you go.
Well,
Yeah.
I know that I don't know if TJ reviewed it, but I know Review Brothers either reviewed it or they posted the fucking picture or something like that of a product with supplement facts that had like 100 fucking DMAA, 100 DMHA or 500, and they had alpha yo at like 11 or 12
I
or
reviewed
some shit
it.
like that.
Yeah,
I looked at the label and I think that I'm pretty extreme. I literally, if those were real dosages, we would be fucking dropping dead. There is no
That's
way
what I
that it
said.
No way.
I reviewed it, the Punisher. I reviewed it in my. I reviewed it, and actually, I said in the review that there's 2 options: either this label is bullshit, or there's a graveyard full of people that took this shit. Like there's, it's total bullshit.
But
Like,
how did you feel in comparison to, say, even Mesomorph?
No, it was. I'm sure 100% didn't have any DMAA or DMHA or shit like that.
Or
'Cause it
alpha
said
yo?
9 milligrams of alpha yo or 11 milligrams of alpha yo, and I was like I said, literally, if I take this, I probably again, it's either the whole label is bullshit or you would die. And I think there's another thing which is just shows
And
you
you
how
took a full scoop?
full scoop. I got my inner Lukasz in me and I went full scoop.
My
But
man.
it felt like it had maybe 2 milligrams of alpha yo, and listen, the point on that one was that how stupid can you be as a brand owner to actually brag about 9 milligrams of alpha? I mean, why maybe you know what? I get the DMAA appeal. Why the hell would you say you have 9 milligrams of alpha yo? I mean, what's the thing? Like, what's the promise here?
Maybe it was meant to be point time.
TJ, can I ask you, did you ask for it, buy it, or they actually sent it to you?
No, they sent it to me for review.
So are they that stupid? Because,
No,
I mean, clearly on label, I mean, who would send something like that knowingly that doesn't contain? It makes no sense.
Suicidal to send it.
Maybe they actually asked the manufacturer to put that in there, and then the manufacturer was like, no. This is not what you really want.
No, so I asked them. I said, "Hey guys, are before I took it, I sent them a test. I said, are you sure that what's on label is in the package? Because like you're crazy if it is." Then they said, literally, I think like that's the point where you get into that corner. You don't want to say, because then your label is shit. I said, no, everything that's on the pack on the label is inside the product. And I told him, I probably still have the text. Said, dude, there's either a bunch of people dead, or it's not in the label. Like, do you know of people who died? He said no. So I said, it's not on the label. Like, there's no way. It's so stupid anyway.
Or maybe he sent you a slightly tainted tub, and there is a pile of dead bodies, and he's just not telling you at all.
Possible.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Elder, yes,
crazy.
this is the hooligan, the Apollon hooligan shaker, though it's heavily weathered because I use this thing twice a day, every day, and scrub the shit out of it. So I've kind of scraped off the hooligan logo. But yeah, that's the one. Let's see. TJ, since we brought up Review Brothers a second ago from Zandandito, since you weren't here on Monday, did you get the question about Review Bros and Naughty Boy lifestyle?
What's the question?
They did a review on the Naughty Boys pre-workout, and it was very unfavorable, and then they got some shit. So I'm not sure if did you get dragged into any of the drama, or did you get any flack when you reviewed Naughty Boys pre-workout?
I didn't review Naughty Boy, and I don't get dragged into drama usually, unless it's on the podcast here. I don't. Or I start. No, I don't start.
Well, if you start drama, typically you don't think it's drama at the start.
I think that me being dragged into drama is just benefit to the other side on the drama side.
Agreed.
So I don't want to. If someone wants drama with me, needs to pay me like for the free advertising.
Still have half a tub of the Assassin DMAA version. Hold on to
you've
it.
been saying that for like a year. Are you using that shit or what?
Especially, he just keeps it in his freezer and does a half scoop every now and then.
Yeah, I think so. That's red tub.
Do you prefer DMAA? All right, this is a good question. I prefer DMAA to DMHA, I think.
Yeah, I would say DMAA, but to be honest, I'd prefer DMAA, then Citrate, then DMHA.
Yeah.
I wanted to say exactly the same thing.
DMHA is good, but it's, yeah.
I miss the times when the Citrate was.
Yeah, man, Citrate was what's the saying? The brightest flames burn the shortest, the fastest.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Citrate came and gone.
Yeah,
Assassin DMAA for special occasions. Will we ever see real DMAA again? No. We're never going to see it again. High Tech fought valiantly in the courts, but no, they ultimately...
It's gone already.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
Here's another good one. Do you guys know why we don't see calorie content on pre-workout? No one cares about from Beam, perhaps? They can't do it legally.
Actually, on a pre-workout now, in terms of calories and amount of carbs and protein and stuff like that, it's actually now regulations that you have to put it in.
So even on amino acid supplements, they're going to have to start doing
it. You have to do it. A lot of companies don't want to do it, and the manufacturers don't enforce it. But we were actually supposed to have it on a hooligan already, and because the labels were already printed. I remember the manufacturer said, and this is one of those good manufacturers that get visits from FDA, that actually everything is regulated, everything is by the book. They said that, like, okay, we're going to let it slide, but in the future, we would prefer to have it actually, the calories and carbs and stuff like that, it has to be included too.
How did they avoid having that on pre-workout until now? Like, what makes pre-workout different from any other?
You're absolutely right. I don't know if that was the case, that they had to do it always, or was it enforced lately? But I know it has to be actually on a pre-workout.
Well, it's part of what they did for the revamped supplement guidelines, the supplement, like the updated regulations for the SFPs, the supplement facts panels. Beforehand, you could not include calories like on all the amino acid supplements, Extend, EAA Max, all of these EAA formulas and BCAA formulas. You couldn't because it wasn't a whole protein. It was just individual amino acids. So even though your 5 grams of BCAAs contain somewhere between like 15 to 20 calories, because 1 gram of like an instantized amino acid isn't the exact same as a gram of protein, but it's pretty close. It's like 3.5 calories instead of 4. So by definition or by the law, they couldn't list calorie contents on there. But now with the revamp and the changes that Robbie was just alluding to, now they're going to have to start putting that on there. So you'll start to see, your tub of Extend will have 20 or 30 calories. If an other amino acid product has 10 grams of BCAAs, it'll have at least 40 calories or 35 to 40, give or take, and go from there.
Yeah.
In Europe, you get that a lot. Like a lot of pre-workouts have nutrition on them because they go into the milligrams.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see like 200 milligrams of sugar, and then they add that on to the carbs, and then sometimes they'll have like 100 milligrams of protein. It's really weird, but as far as I know, the US ones don't go into that. It's usually like less than a gram or rounded up to the nearest gram or whatever.
Yeah.
So their pre-workouts and aminos have that, even if it's just like the smallest of small, they have to add it.
Yeah, I think that everybody's trying to kind of avoid it because, everybody sees a calorie or 2 or 3 and they start freaking the fuck out.
Right.
But the truth is, it's like it has to be there now. And I just finished something, a certain pre-workout, a little surprise that's going to be revealed a little bit later. And I talked to TJ about it yesterday. I'm supposed to send him the formula. Robert already has seen it. And it's actually the company sent us the sample. And on the sample, there is a breakdown.
Look at Shane. Look at Shane.
Of each.
He's already making notes.
of each. I'll send
every journalist, Shane.
Of each and every ingredient, and there is actually, it says carbohydrates 3 grams. So
wait. So I'm assuming this is a pre-workout.
It's a pre-workout.
Maybe.
Look at that, Robert. Robert's right there. You just lied when he was. So it's a pre-workout. So I'm assuming it's a continuation of Assassin, or actually, it has to be Assassin, doesn't it?
I'm gonna text you.
Yeah, but you not say no obviously means a yes. Interesting.
I'm gonna text you.
Must be like aiming for the new year, since we're last year it came out New Year, so it's a nice 1 year cycle. Oh yeah. Interesting.
Okay, I mean, you're heading in the right direction, but you are so off that when I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna freak the fuck out.
Interesting.
You guys are all
is it pre-workout?
OGs, by the way.
No, it is a pre-workout. It's definitely a pre-workout.
Is it like a special edition Assassin?
Shane,
give up, Shane. What the hell,
dude? I don't know if you know this, but in most aspects of life, I don't really give up. So for me,
I like it. He's persistent.
I'm intrigued.
So, Lukasz, how is the weather in Poland?
It's raining curiosity.
Here we go. Are there any next gen formulas from Apollon you're really excited to drop or make? The new Hooligan is amazing, by the way. So, Robbie, I'll let you tackle this one.
What's the next gen formula from Apollon? What is it?
This is probably Shane's other name.
Did you just realize the name on this guy?
Yeah.
I just said it. The nick is perfect, man.
I don't think Shane would put that name on his.
That's my.
Cream on her. Yes, there's definitely there's at least 2, 3, 3 formulas that Robbie and I have been talking about behind the scenes that are coming. The first one that Shane already heard. The second one, we've had a call with a manufacturer at the end of last week on. We're about to put in the order for that soon. And then...
That's the sleep supplement? I know that's somewhere in there.
There is a sleep supplement in there somewhere. We don't know the order that those are going to be released yet.
You got 3. A pre-workout, a sleep supplement.
There's a few other things coming too.
Shane, you got a story already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to...
I won't say it. I want Robbie to send the KGB after me.
I'll just send Lukasz.
I'm down. I got nothing to do, so
Shane can't take the new Apollon pre because it will be over his carb limit. Comment of the day, Pete. Comment of the day.
That's
Great
hilarious.
job, man.
That was
That's
awesome.
it's so on the money.
That was the best comment. That was good.
Winner.
It shows who listens to podcasts. So
There we
yeah,
go.
man.
Well,
Great
so
job,
on the
man.
money.
That's awesome. Pete, I'll send you a tub of Edge of Insanity if you want. If you want for comment of the day.
So
All right,
funny.
guys, listeners out there, keep the comments and things rolling. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Shane for the Fast and Furious lightning round.
Oh yes. Okay. This is always tricky to go with. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna start with Robic. And I'm gonna bring up Gaspari Nutrition. Now, I don't know if you saw, so they've announced their a supplement that's apparently been in the works for 2 years.
Yeah, I saw the 2 years thing. Oh my God, come on.
So they were going to drop it. I think I mentioned this previously, but they were going to drop it in before lockdown. Lockdown came out. They did greens, they did health supplements, more like well-being stuff, and put this on hold. So I guess that added 6 months. So before they would have said a year and a half. Now they can say 2 years. But it's called Super Pump Aggression. Now, the key part here that I find interesting is that they said that they're going to use next generation ingredients and technology and like all new, formula technology. They didn't really go into specifics, but they said next generation ingredients, which would lead me to believe that they're talking about something entirely new. Because if you're just going to give me citrulline again, then that's not really next generation ingredients. I could be wrong. So, what do you think about Gaspari's hype on this? Have you worked on a supplement for 2 years, and are there any next generation ingredients that you could be thinking of that they could be throwing in here to make it pop?
Gaspari actually attended last year's All-Star seminar, and I talked to him for quite some time, and I remember during the seminar, he said that the supplement industry is overpopulated and it's overcrowded. And I remember him making those comments. And let's face it, again, being totally 100% transparent here, Gaspari is not the name that it used to be 10 years ago. That's just a fact. And, I'm not saying it's not a knock on a company or Rich. It's just a fact. It was the most powerful company in the supplement industry. I remember in 2009, because they had an event at Apollon, I think that year they made $85 million in sales, which back then, 11 years ago, that was unheard of. That was insane. So they were the top company. The first ones, I think, who introduced, if I'm not mistaken, clusterdextrin to the market with the glycofuse. And, the company was always very, very innovative. You can't take that away. They had a few troubles with the law, of course, that was kind of well documented as well. The fact is, if it came actually from anyone else, I would take it with a grain of salt. The reason is because some companies, when they announce they're going to release something unbelievable, 99.9%, I think it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit, and then we see the label and nobody's actually surprised. And it's true what Helder said. He bought it from High Tech. We know about it. He now controls the company. I think he moved some of his warehouses as well. Rich was always very innovative. I mean, he did it with Halodrol. He did it with Glycofuse. He did it with a bunch of, I think his Saison and his pre-workout were pretty, new to the market, and he was doing very, very good with it. I do expect that it's possibly true. The fact that he says that it's been in the works for 2 years makes me a little bit skeptical, because let's face it, the ingredients and the market changes every fucking few months, especially when it comes to pre-workouts. And that's the reason why we were so successful with Hooligan and Assassin releasing every year a new version, because every year it actually kicked test of the previous version. So I think everything is so new. Even now, I already can think of certain things to improve of what we have right now. So 2 years makes me a little bit skeptical. That it's been in the works for 2 years. It probably was in the works for 6 months, if that. The label, I have to admit, that you posted is beautiful. I think it's very, very nice. It kind of stands out. And again,
You like it?
Well,
it's very different. Yeah.
it's different. Well, exactly, because remember what I said about what is it? Devastate of the Union. I said that a lot of things goes into the label, whether you like it or not. You cannot disrespect the fact that the company did something different and they took a chance. So I can see like some people probably will not like Gaspari's new label. I actually like it, but the main thing, I believe you, and but it's different. They took a chance, and I respect that. They made something completely different. Like if you showed me the label, I would never guess that it came from Gaspari. That's for sure.
Yeah.
About new ingredients? I mean, look, today you can go and put certain new ingredients or trademark ingredients, and there are a few that Robert and I discussed in the last couple of months that came. Even the dreaded S7, it came. It came guns blazing. That it's like the newest thing and it's the greatest thing, and what is it, like 6,000% more effective than anything else? We can all make those claims, and perhaps they're going to have something. But the thing is, what makes me skeptical, so if they came up with that like 2 years ago, they're working on it for 2 years, how come none of us have any information of the new secret ingredients? That makes me, unless it's Theophylline, which is fucking prescription medication that nobody thought about because it's a fucking drug. So that could be the case too. And knowing that Halodrol contained actually illegal supplements such as anabolic steroids, that would also not be a surprise because it's coming from Gaspari. But nevertheless, I'm just being honest. It's the truth.
I'm subtly backhanded. It's
yeah, I'm not making this shit up. I expect that it's going to be actually a good pre-workout, but I think I did read what Shane posted, that he's a little bit skeptical about it. Honestly, am I. I am skeptical. I don't think that it's going to be anything that's going to blow the roof, and it's not going to be like the product that had fucking 9 milligram of alpha yo or whatever. I think it's probably going to be a good, full, transparent pre-workout. Rich does pay attention to everything. He definitely does his research. So I think it's probably going to be something good, but I'm definitely not holding my breath that it's going to be something that's, going to be a game changer. If I'm wrong, congratulations, Tam.
To their credit, they didn't say this was game changing, which I appreciated.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
But I'm curious. If I don't see ingredients that I haven't seen before, I'm going to be disappointed. This is kind of like the pre-cage sport thing. You put it out there. If I don't see game changer, I'm going to be disappointed. I could have been impressed if you didn't say game changer, but you said that. I would have been impressed if they didn't say next generation ingredients, but they have. So now if I don't see that, I'm going to be a bit disappointed.
Well, you have, for example, alpha GPC, right? I saw it on few labels written in different way. That you actually have to look into it and actually see, wow, that's actually alpha GPC, but it's written in a way that you've never seen before. Or DHMA, you have DHMA natural 2,5 that you can get from a plant, and then you see it as a English fucking walnut tree, and then you can see it as a Moroccan walnut tree, and I don't know, from Zimbabwe tree. So there are so many ways of saying the same shit over and over again, but at the end of the day, it's written different, but it's the same fucking shit.
It's the same tree.
See,
it's the same tree. Yeah.
I would rather see something. I would rather see a formula that doesn't have any ingredients I haven't seen before than a formula that just has different names for ingredients, because then I know that they're blatantly just trying to use the different names.
But let me say this: you would like to see ingredients that you didn't see, but yet they're effective, not just ingredients for the hell of it.
You know what? I would be more impressed to see ingredients for the hell of it, because they've gone out and tried to do something different, even if it sucks, even if it's not.
I see a point.
Because they've said it. They've said next generation. But I didn't think of your idea of them using a branded ingredient. That is a very high possibility, because you could use a new generation ingredient as a brand new branded one that came out this year.
Yeah.
I always have high hopes, but I feel I might be let down on this time. Possible.
I'm going to interject real quick, Shane. Yeah, cream on her. That is exactly what we were saying earlier, is that the original form of Edge of Insanity, TJ and I both pretty much hit that nail and drove it through the board. repeatedly over the years, it made
Me
us
and
feel
Lucas,
like
I think
absolute
me
dog
and
shit.
I haven't had a bad pre-workout, so I think me and Lucas are of the same mind. Like,
You will with
I'm
this.
curious.
Yeah, I'm very curious. So yeah, man.
I'm not going to do 9 milligrams of alpha yo, but I yeah. Anyway, so the next
You
one
live
I
once,
have,
man.
yeah, but you don't want to like live half of that once, do you?
Yeah, sure, man, but let's give it a shot.
The next
Who
one's for
cares?
TJ, and this is this kind of might be. You know, I'll give you a choice. You can choose between Ghost and XP Sports.
No.
You choose, man. Those sounds. I don't know who XP Sports are. So.
Oh well, there we go. So Ghost is coming out with. I don't know if you ever tried their pump pre Ghost pump,
Yeah.
but regarded as like one of the best out there, and from a lot of people, myself included. They're coming out with a 2.0 version. They've I think there was talks of a 2.0 Legend as well. So their very, very original Ghost Legend, which I think is like 4 years old now. I think it's 3. It's up there. But the focus this week was the new Ghost Pump. Already one of the best out there, and they believe that this is going to be even better. What's your thoughts on it? Like, I mean, it's you're at that point where if I haven't seen a product that's better than the original, is there much point in changing? But they believe they can make it better. I like the challenge. I don't think they're going to fail on the challenge either. They haven't really. So yeah, what's your thoughts on? They haven't really
it's very hard. Yeah, I think when you have something, when you nail something, and it's really, really good, I would just say that 99% of the times the next generation is placebo effect better. That's all I'd say. And I'm not saying it's not better, or it's. I would just say that when someone says, "Oh my," like let's say it's very, very good, like really you nailed it, right? And specifically with something like pumps, because with pre-workouts, I can say that you will feel a bit different. But if you literally nailed a 10 out of 10 on pumps, what's better? Like you're gonna get bigger. What is gonna be better? I think 99% of the time it's placebo. If they actually are able to nail it, all the power to them. I mean, I would be surprised that you would try it and say, "Oh shit, I'm twice as swole now."
That's the thing. That's now that you mention it, because to be honest, I would give the original as close to 10 out of 10 as I could. But then my thought process is if I try a second version, I feel they could potentially raise my standard to 10 out of 10. Because I thought Super Pump 250 hit like a train, right? And then I had jacked.
But that's what I'm saying. No, that's a pre-workout. That's what I said. Stimulants is different. Because stimulants, you can literally feel there's a thing, right? You can have a pre-workout and it's really, really good, and then you add mood elevation to it. You add more euphoria, and you say, "Oh shit, this is even better." Now with pumps, what am I going to make you? Like swoller? Like you're swole. Now you're swoller. What is it?
A swollest.
Swollester. But what I would tell you though is that I'm sure that some would say, "Oh my god, this is 10 times better than the previous one." Just because
I don't think it could not be 10 times better.
You wanna bet that some review channels are gonna say that it's a game changer and it's like 10 times better. I mean, you want to bet?
I'm not taking this.
Put some money on this shit. Someone will sit down on his computer and say
take
10 times better.
If anyone's willing to take that bet, if anyone's willing to take that bet, I'll oppose them with TJ. I'll go on the other side.
Right. So, but yeah, I think that there's definitely taking that to next one.
Wow, Pete is on fire today.
Pete is on a roll. Yeah, he's rolling.
Bathroom's next. Are you taking us inside your bathroom next?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Pete, just because you've been on such a roll, you can decide where we go next.
Pete today is like Shane on Monday.
I know, but he's on fire.
Yeah, he's on fire. Maybe we should bring him on the podcast.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, you know what, Pete? You just earned a spot on the podcast next week. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're in that elderly house next week. I mean, are you home or where are you? So, yeah. Anyway, that's my thought. I mean, maybe can it be better? Probably. Will some people say it's 10 times better? If I do the Pepsi test, would someone feel the difference really? Probably not if it's already that good on pump. But that's my opinion.
Shane, did they mention that it's gonna be 10 times better or something like this?
I've heard some things from them that I couldn't say, but nothing to the extent of I haven't seen the whole formula.
Yeah,
I'd probably be a little more like but again, the Ghost Pump formula, the original one, wasn't like too ecstatic.
So didn't confirm any ingredients yet, right?
I have knowledge of like 2 or 3, but again, it's not the whole thing, and they didn't want it out until it was out. So I was like, okay, but like even the 3 that I know aren't like good indicators of. They're just kind of what you'd expect to be in that kind of thing.
And I mean, the original formula is super solid. I mean, it's hitting from every pathway. You've got citrulline in there. You've got 2.5 grams of arginine nitrate. You've got taurine for cell hydration, glycersize, which I could take or leave. I know it might be in there from a marketing standpoint too. Some people think glycersize would be effective or glycerol powder, but I mean, based on the research, you need a shit ton. Norvaline, I'm betting they're probably going to remove, if I had to guess, just because there's one study coming out showing that it was toxic to neurons.
Brain, yeah.
Pine bark is a great one. Estrogen is good. So, I mean, they've got the polyphenols. They've got the precursor with citrulline. They've got arginine nitrate, so you're getting both arginine to support that and the nitrates for the nitrate, nitrite, nitric oxide pathway. I mean, and the polyphenols from pine bark. I mean, you could swap out pine bark for something like pomegranate, possibly, or do something like a vasodrive AP where you're going for ACE inhibition. But I know there is one new ingredient that's being worked on. I don't know if they're using it, but I know there's a new pump ingredient that's being hyped by a couple of by the developers of it. So I'm looking to get the research on that and see if it's actually worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, typically the sequels go bigger. Higher dosages, but that doesn't seem to be in Ghost style. This would also be the very first V2. Oh, no, they did Amino V2, BCA V2, but this would be the first real big V2 they've done.
Yeah.
Alongside Legend. The next story I got is for Robert. And this is Glaxon's, the multi. So, I mean, they kind of took it's what I call the machine multi approach with MTS Nutrition, where they do 100% of the daily value. They did it with not all of the vitamins in there, but like majority.
Almonds.
You know, if we were all walking around the house and eating food and living our regular lives, it would make this podcast way more difficult to follow.
Yeah, it would.
Snacking and going to the couch.
So they did a multivitamin. I thought it was quite I felt like it was very similar to Ghost, not in so much the ingredients, but the approach. Not like too complete, like a Pro's all-in-one type thing, and not as loaded as like some of those other products that bring together a whole bunch of things. So they have the 21 vitamins and minerals. There's the added Marigold for the eye health and vision, and then there's I think it's like a patented blend to help with the absorption of the nutrients. And then there's the Super Shroom blend, which is obviously what Glaxon had in its Super Greens, and then they sold as a standalone. But the dose of the Super Shroom blend in the multi is not close to quite what it is in the greens or standalone. But it's what's
pill form, right?
What was that? Sorry,
I was saying pill form.
Yeah, it's caps.
Yeah, but I mean, it's one of the it's kind of like saying, if I have citrulline in capsules, though, should I have 1 gram instead of 6?
No, I mean, either don't put it or you're gonna accept. 20 capsules, right?
But I suppose if their thought process is that you're gonna have this with super greens, it's kind of, or even standalone. I guess that kind of makes sense. But yeah,
it's not like a citrulline thing where you need to hit a baseline before you get an effective thing. So, I mean, you're getting little amounts of beta-glucans and all the fun little polysaccharides that are within mushrooms, even at a little dose. And like Shane said, it's probably meant to be stacked with their super shroom or super greens. I mean, like at this point, if I'm putting myself in their shoes, they're like, hey, we've developed this really cool mushroom blend. Every little bit helps. let's toss it in there. So I mean that's not, it's just like an extra feature. I do like the marigold extract and the lutein and zeaxanthin for eye health.
I'm glad you pronounced that.
Yeah. You compared it to machine multi, Shane, and
just in the sense of the 100%. Like
that's what I'm going to say is that this is where you can tell that Glaxon knows their shit, and MTS went the cheap route in their multivitamin. Because if you look at the forms of the minerals that they're using, Glaxon is using the premium, the highly bioavailable, the bioactive.
Yeah, I remember they mentioned in this.
Methylcobalamin, the methylfolate that's on there, the P5P, vitamin B6, even stuff like the chelated minerals for zinc, magnesium, manganese, all of those. Where you look at machine multi, they've got magnesium oxide, which has like 10% bioavailability. Same thing for zinc oxide. They've got cyanocobalamin, which is the cheap form of B12, the cheap form of B6. So yeah, I mean, like if you're going to pay a top dollar for a multivitamin, this is a really, really good option to do that.
What's the price of machine multi anyway? If I'm not so, is it like 10, 15?
Yeah, it's $10.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, that's the thing. Like, this is 10. That's 10. This is 30.
Yeah,
it's I think they, like Ghost did. They kind of knocked on the premium level without going too all in one. They kind of kept it well balanced.
Yeah,
I remember they mentioned they went for the more premium forms where they could.
Right.
There was like one branded one in there. I think was it the folic acid.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people do the tracks and then the albino and all that stuff. I think they just did the one. But yeah, it's I mean, for a brand that has 15 different supplements in its lineup, it's kind of one you want in there. Yeah. And they did the Glaxon approach, which again, because I think a $10 multivitamin wouldn't have fit into the Glaxon style.
No, I really like this formula a lot, and I don't get super excited. But I mean, like when you asked me about the Ghost Multi a week or two ago, I like that one for what this riff that they did on it. If supplement companies are gonna do a multivitamin, because face it, we can get a $5 or $10 multivitamin from the grocery store. I don't need to buy it from my supplement company. This is what I want to see supplement companies doing, using highly bioavailable forms of minerals and throwing in, maybe one or two other little fun ingredients for some other kind of benefit, not just rehashing what I can get from like the dumpster at the grocery store. That's what I don't like when a lot of brands do, because they say buy our new multi. It's a commodity. I'm thinking, well, it's dog shit. I'm just wasting $9.
I think a lot of them have the issue of trying to compete with those $9 multis. That they don't want to risk and bring out a 30 and not sell. Especially like I think MTS is a very mainstream brand as it is. It's a lot less premium than Glaxon and Ghost. So I guess. Oh, yeah. $10 vitamin fits, but so the next one I have is for Lukasz, and I think this is I like this time of year and Easter in Europe because of when they do this, like around Easter. I don't know if you're in Europe, almost every supplement company out there comes out with a damn Easter egg, and it's like a protein chocolate, and they'll put like their protein bar inside or some shit, and so at Christmas it's very much the same. Almost every European company will come out with an advent calendar. And this past week, we've seen like 3. Food Spring got 7, has 2. Rocket Nutrition has done 3. Food Spring's got 2, I think it is. They do a vegan. I can't remember the other one. I think the other one's just regular.
The regular, yeah.
I like an advent calendar as much as the next guy. But what is it in Europe where like all of them, is it just easier to make your own? Because these calendars, the GOT7 one is 4 feet tall. It's not small, and it's like 25 pounds in weight.
Well,
these things aren't little.
The stuff, right?
But like, is it just easy to make, or like?
It's easy.
In Europe?
It's definitely easy to make, and it's like this tradition. I mentioned to you also on Facebook, I believe. Oat King, the company that was that is.
Oh, they do it.
Yeah, they're also launching like advent calendar, which is also amazing because their bars are big, and if you want to pack like 30 bars in like a box, then it's gonna be also massive. So yeah, man, it's a traditional thing, and I think it's great.
I mean, it's a tradition in a lot of countries.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to promote your brand, the products, and plus. In these kind of like calendars, you always can find some unique products, something
Yeah,
different,
so-
unique
so-
flavors,
yeah.
unique products, those kind of things.
So Rocket Nutrition, I think they were saying out of the 24 treats that they have, like full-size treats and samples in the advent calendars, as much as 18 of them are unreleased beta,
Yes.
like concept products.
Yeah.
And then I think Got7, they did that last year. I think 15 out of their 24 were like concepts that never been released. So you
Yeah.
buy these things, you get more than... why are you teasing me with 5 calories, man? Yeah, I think it's like one of those times of years where it's just fun, and I like it when you can count on Europe for, like, I mean, they don't blow up St. Patrick's Day, they don't bank on July 4th, but when it comes to these occasions, I like seeing it, and I really want to get my hands on one, just because the idea of a brand putting out an advent calendar that has 18 new products that you'll never get to try again, or you'll get to try before other people. That's just damn cool. And a lot of those, like Food Spring and Rocker, they're doing vegan versions. So one of the calendars is like they have options where it's just all vegan products.
Yeah.
Less of them are new, but they're all vegan. I think Got7 is doing a flavor drops one as well.
Yes.
It's like 24 packets of concentrated flavor in each.
As a matter of fact, I ordered this one, and I also ordered the oat cake. So they are on the way.
You should have waited. You should have got the other Got7 one. The other Got7 one looked better.
I will do that. I will do that for sure. So
what do you mean? These are like 50 euros a piece. So every day in December, you're just going to open what, 5 doors or some shit?
You live once.
I think if I get one, I'm just opening it the day one.
Bro, plus this year like was screwed by COVID, so I deserve some extra dessert.
So you deserve 5 advent calendars.
Yeah.
Okay.
So each year each day I'm gonna take one of each calendar. I will have like.
You can just have one with each meal.
Hell yeah, man. Something like this. I got plenty of macros to spend.
Yeah, see, I can't. I need these low-calorie advent calendars because apparently my carbs are short on supply.
Yeah, I can imagine, man.
I'm joking. I don't fucking... I'll have a pre-workout that's got 50 grams of carbs. Jesus Christ. Okay, 50 grams, I may have to shave a bit in the morning, but, you know, I'll have less oats in my smoothie, but, yeah, it'll do.
Horrible.
Man, all right. Any other
stories. Great stories for the week.
Sweet.
Say it again, Lucas?
I said great stories for the week.
No, this is something personal happened. I'm done with you guys. Listen, I'm like 10 minutes over my time with you people. I'm hungry and I need to pee. And like you guys can carry. Like I'm old.
Old man.
To be honest,
if
you exited TJ without saying that, I don't know what it would be. I don't know if it would be a complete podcast.
I don't know. It feels like you're pulling it for, like you're literally forcing me to say that. That's what it feels.
Yeah, I think.
I'm
We
always
want to see
waiting.
your eyeballs turn yellow.
I'm always waiting till TJ starts to, you know,
Yeah, happy dance.
Oh
pee-pee
yeah,
dance.
I need to pee.
I so need to pee, by the way. Are we done here?
We
I'm
are
just
good. We
surprised
are good,
you just
guys.
didn't go pee during the podcast. You did everything else.
That's the only room we haven't seen.
Save something for next one.
We
There we
can't see voice down. It doesn't matter.
It's also too small, like I told you. I don't use it. I think it's small. Actually, I haven't seen it in like a while.
Jesus. All right, gentlemen. I think we're gonna cut on that note. Thank you to all the viewers for tuning in. If you like what we're doing here, give us a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, and we will see you next time on the Final Scoop.
Next time.